Section 18. Display of Certificate of Registration and License to Sell. The Certificate of Registration and License to Sell issued by the Board shall be displayed in a conspicuous place in the principal office of the owner, dealer, broker, or salesman, as the case may be, and a Xerox copy thereof in all its branches and offices. Section 19. Loss or destroyed certificate of registration or license. Upon loss or destruction of a certificate of registration or license to sell, a duplicate copy thereof may be issued by the Board after satisfactory proof of such loss or destruction and payment of the prescribed fee. The fact that such duplicate has been issued shall be made of record. Section 20. Advertisement. All advertisements for the sale of subdivision lots and condominium units shall be declared and approved by the Board pursuant to Section 19 of the Decree. Section 21. Time for completion. Every owner or developer shall construct and provide the facilities, infrastructures, other forms of development, including water supply and lighting facilities, and as far as practicable improvements, which are offered and indicated in the approved subdivision or condominium plans, brochures, prospectus, printed matters, letters, or in any form of advertisement within 1 year or within such other period of time as may be fixed by the Board from the date of the issuance of license to sell for the subdivision or condominium project. Request for extension of time to complete development of a subdivision or condominium project may be granted only in cases where non-completion of project is caused by fortuitous events, legal orders, or such other reasons that the Board may deem fit proper with the written notice to lot or unit buyers without prejudice to the exercise of their rights pursuant to Section 23 of the Decree. The request for extension of time for completion shall be accompanied by a revised work program duly signed and sealed by a licensed engineer or architect with project costing and financing scheme therefore. In appropriate cases, the Board may require the posting of additional performance bond amounting to 20% of development cost of the unfinished portion of the approved development plan or issue such orders if may deem proper. Section 22. Transfer of ownership or change of name. Request for transfer of ownership and or change of name may be granted only if there is a deed of absolute sale over the subdivision and condominium project sought to be transferred and or the name thereof changed with an undertaking on the part of the transferee to assume full responsibility for the completion of the development thereof. The requirements in Section 7 and 13 hereof shall be observed whenever applicable. Such request for transfer of ownership or change of name shall be published at applicant's expense in a newspaper of general circulation within the city or municipality where the project is located at least once a week for 2 consecutive weeks. Section 23. Alteration of plans. Requests for alteration of subdivision plans may be granted if the requirements of Section 22 of the Decree are complied with. Alteration of condominium plans shall be in accordance with Section 4 of the Condominium Act as amended by Sections 1 and 2 of RA 7899. Section 24. Non-forfeiture of payments. No installment payment made by a buyer in a new or existing subdivision or condominium project for the lot or unit he contracted to buy shall be forfeited in favor of the owner or developer when the buyer, after due notice to the owner or developer and clearance from the Board, desists from further payment due to the failure of the owner or developer to develop the project according to the approved plans and within the time limit for complying with the same. Such buyer may at his option be reimbursed the total amount paid including amortization interest but excluding delinquency interest with interest thereon at the legal rate. Section 25. Registration of conveyances. Sales or conveyances of the subdivision lots and condominium units shall be registered within 180 days from execution thereof by the seller with the Register of Deeds of the province or city where the property is situated pursuant to Section 17 of the decree, except as may otherwise be provided for by law. The board may in appropriate cases cause the Register of Deeds to cancel registration, entries, or annotation on titles made on this regard. Section 26. Mortgages. Mortgage of any unit or lot by the owner or developer shall be cleared with the board pursuant to Section 18 of the decree. Section 27. Realty tax and other charges. No realty tax assessment or other charges shall be imposed on the lot or unit buyer except as provided for in Section 26 and 27 of the decree. Section 28. Complaints against owner, developers, dealers, brokers, and salesmen. Complaints or proceedings against owners, developers, dealers, brokers, and salesmen shall be resolved in accordance with the rules of procedure to govern the conduct of hearing before the board. Section 29. Administrative fees. Any owner or dealer who fails to register an existing subdivision project or condominium project within the period prescribed under these rules and regulations shall be penalized in accordance with the approved schedule of fines. The implementation and payment of these administrative fines shall not preclude criminal prosecution of the offender under Section 39 of the decree. Section 30. Criminal penalties. Any person violating any provision of these rules shall be guilty of an offense and shall suffer the penalties provided for under Section 39 of the decree. Section 31. Identification of lot subject of sale. The owner or dealer of a subdivision project shall attach to and shall form part of the sales document of any lot a sketch plan clearly showing the area, boundaries, and dimensions of the lot in relation with the block and the whole project, as well as the location of the project in relation with public roads and other landmarks to be certified by a licensed geodetic engineer and signed by the seller and buyer. Section 32. Broker, salesman as witness to sales. The broker or salesman who negotiated the sale of a subdivision lot or condominium unit shall act as one of the witnesses to the sales document with an indication of his certificate of registration number and renewal date. If the sale was directly made by the owner or dealer, that fact must be so stated in the sales document. Section 33. Fees. The board or the local government unit concerned shall collect fees in accordance with the schedule of fees approved by the board or the local government concerned. Section 34. Applicability. These rules shall apply only to residential subdivision and condominium projects as defined by the decree and related laws. Section 35. Transitory provisions. The provisions of Rule 2, Section 5, subsequent A1 and subsection B2 of these rules to the contrary notwithstanding, and subject to further review thereof, licensed architects who are not licensed environmental planners may in the meantime still continue to sign site development plans, subdivision development plans of subdivision projects for a period of 2 years from the date of effectivity of these rules. Section 36, Separability Clause. The provisions of these rules are hereby declared separable, and in the event any of such provisions are declared null and void, the validity of all other provisions shall not be affected thereby. Section 37. These rules shall take effect immediately after its publication once in any newspaper of general circulation.